America's bankrupt. We're the biggest debtor nation in the world. The only nation more in debt than us is Japan. Stupid Japanese. I knew exactly what Biden was doing. He was going to destroy the middle class. So there'd be two classes of people, rich and everybody else poor.
Robert Kiyosaki is sounding the alarm on another potential market crash. You know him from his best-selling book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and as a highly successful investor and entrepreneur. Robert's confidence in navigating the stormy seas of a market collapse is contagious. Join us to discover the millionaire opportunities he believes can weather the upcoming financial storm. You might wonder why Kiyosaki's advice matters. Well, he has a track record of accurately predicting economic crises, such as the Lehman Brothers collapse. Recently, he expressed concerns about the bond market and its potential impact on the U.S. economy. Despite the financial turmoil, Kiyosaki sees an opportunity.
When the U.S. couldn't pay its bills, rather than fix the economy, they kept pumping more fake money into the economy.
He points out that the Federal Reserve and the FDIC are warning of hyperinflation, which can benefit precious metals like gold and silver because they tend to perform well during inflation when traditional currency loses value. Kiyosaki is sounding the alarm again. So it's very important to pay attention if you care about your investments. Just a month ago, Robert Kiyosaki warned the U.S. about a looming financial market crash. And now he's sounding the alarm again, this time predicting another bank crisis. This came after Silicon Valley Bank's and Silvergate Bank's recent collapses. Kiyosaki believes that this situation could actually be good news for precious metals.
You look at this here. Mm-hmm. When I first started buying that was $1.40.
Yeah.
Today, that's $16.
It's been a turbulent few weeks for the global banking sector, with banks going under in both Europe and the United States. According to Kiyosaki, Switzerland's second largest bank, Credit Suisse, is hanging by a thread, especially after the significant bank failures in the U.S. Considering that Credit Suisse is one of the largest investment banks in Europe and the world, it's drawing a lot of attention. Kiyosaki is really worried about Credit Suisse, which happens to be the world's 8th largest investment bank. He's calling this concern the perfect storm because it's a mix of factors, including the rocky bond market and the upcoming retirement of his generation. He's not new to warning about financial crises, having previously raised the alarm about the U.S. pension crisis, drawing parallels to the global Lehman Brothers collapse. That's why he's advising investors to consider gold, silver, and Bitcoin to protect themselves from soaring inflation and the Federal Reserve's relentless printing of what he calls phony money. Now, why is Kiyosaki so fixated on the bond market? Well, it's the largest market worldwide, and many countries have a lot invested in U.S. bills like T-bills and T-bonds. But here's the twist. BRICS nations are on the rise and aren't too keen on the U.S. This could lead to a shift towards Chinese gold, potentially changing the global financial landscape. As a result, the U.S. dollar is losing its dominance, and that's leading to even more currency printing as they try to avoid a major catastrophe. But here's the crazy part. Just hours after Robert Kiyosaki's prediction, Credit Suisse confessed to a massive issue in their reporting procedures for the 2021 and 2022 fiscal years. Auditors were raising red flags about the bank's internal controls, flagging a lack of risk management. The fallout from this revelation was colossal. On March 15th, Credit Suisse's stock took a nosedive, plummeting by a whopping 31%. To make matters worse, the chairman of its largest shareholder, Saudi National Bank, publicly announced they had no plans for further investments in the bank. In response, Credit Suisse reached out to the Swiss Central Bank for support. Things escalated as the bank's bond insurance costs skyrocketed, reaching levels just like that of the 2008 global financial crisis. That's when the central bank stepped in, offering a lifeline of up to $54 billion in loans and repurchasing approximately 3 billion francs of debt. This intervention gave Swiss authorities some breathing room to explore a more workable solution. Over the weekend that followed, they orchestrated a merger between Credit Suisse and its local competitor, UBS, but at a significantly reduced price of around $3.25 billion. To put it in perspective, that's considerably less than half of its market value from the previous Friday's closing. It appears Kiyosaki's predictions were right on the money. You should definitely be concerned, because Credit Suisse had a series of significant failures that seriously damaged its reputation. These include a criminal conviction linked to money laundering by drug dealers in Bulgaria, involvement in a corruption case in Mozambique, a spying scandal involving a former employee and an executive, and a major data leak to the media. The bank's willingness to work with clients who were shunned by other institutions, such as Lex Greensill and Archegos Capital Management, resulted in substantial losses. This fueled the perception that Credit Suisse had poor control over its operations. To make matters worse, in late 2022, the bank experienced unprecedented client withdrawals, especially in Asian wealth management, which had been a major source of profit for years. In 2022, Credit Suisse reported a staggering net loss of $7.93 billion. If you find this news as shocking as we do, be sure to show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more updates like this. You absolutely must pay close attention for the next few minutes, because what's happening could lead to a global recession, and that's not something to take lightly. Kiyosaki drew a chilling parallel, comparing this situation to a period even worse than the Great Depression. He's sounding the alarm about potential bankruptcies, a sharp rise in unemployment, and a surge in homelessness that could seriously impact people's retirement savings. However, amidst all these challenges, Kiyosaki is still hopeful about opportunities to make money. He believes that opportunities will arise, offering discounted assets for investors to grab hold of. His top picks for safeguarding against economic uncertainty and inflation are gold, silver, and Bitcoin. One of the things that really worries Kiyosaki is the soaring global debt governments are carrying. He emphasizes that when countries pile up extreme levels of debt, they struggle to meet their obligations. This creates a scary situation where defaults become a real possibility, and that could kickstart a chain reaction leading to a global financial crisis. Kiyosaki is also deeply concerned about how fragile the banking system is right now. He's arguing that many banks are taking on way too much risk compared to the money they have in reserve. This risky situation makes them vulnerable to panicked withdrawals by depositors, and that could potentially trigger a massive collapse of the banking system. So, what's the bottom line for everyday folks like us? We have to stay sharp and get ready, especially when it comes to our financial health during these challenging times. Kiyosaki is warning us about the potential for bank runs and the risk of our savings accounts getting frozen. It's a serious wake-up call to be prepared.
That's not easy. So I commend you guys, and that's why we're doing the Millennial Money, is because as these...
But hold on. There's an even more troubling scenario according to Kiyosaki, the dreaded bail-in. In this situation, a struggling bank uses its depositors' money to rescue itself during a crisis. To put it simply, if a bank goes belly up, it might dip into its customers' accounts to stay afloat. The result? People could end up saying goodbye to a big portion or even all of their hard-earned savings. Robert has also consistently voiced skepticism about the Biden administration. He's previously warned that the Federal Reserve's policies could potentially spell disaster for the U.S. economy and the dollar. The well-known author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is firmly against traditional investments at this time. According to Kiyosaki, gold and silver offer superior protection compared to the stock market. In the middle of February 2023, he made a bold prediction for the year 2025. He foresaw Bitcoin reaching $500,000, gold surging to $5,000, and silver rising to $500. What's the reasoning behind this forecast? Well, he believes that investors holding these assets will enjoy substantial gains as the Federal Reserve changes its policies and injects trillions of dollars into the system. Kiyosaki attributes the expected cryptocurrency surge to a declining trust in the US dollar, which stems from the Federal Reserve's questionable monetary decisions, leading to the creation of billions in counterfeit currency. It's a good time to take a page from Robert Kiyosaki's playbook and consider investing the way he does. He's been actively acquiring assets like gold, silver, and Bitcoin because he views them as his preferred currencies. Why, you might ask? It's because he sees them as dependable defenses against inflation and the uncertainties of the economy. Drawing from his extensive track record of successful gold investments that goes all the way back to 1972, Kiyosaki is sending a crystal clear message. Consider these assets to protect your wealth from potential government monetary policies. It could be a smart move to delve into long-term investments like gold and Bitcoin. And of course, don't forget to show your support by liking and subscribing for more valuable investment insights.